everybody, it's Ron from Ron's Basement. Thank you, my fellow Americans, for joining me today. I have some information for you. I'm going to share with you a couple things that might make you mad. You may not like me by the end of this video. You may unsubscribe. Am I the only guy telling you to unsubscribe? Unsubscribe if you don't like me. But I'm going to share with you my opinion. And I have that right, I think, still as an American. The Constitution grants me that right to share my opinion. And I'm going to share with you a couple things that I don't like about our country right now. The first thing I don't like is the fact, have you ever noticed that we're always at war with somebody? Like always, and it's never our fault, right? And then in hindsight, after the fact, 10 or 20 or 30 years later, the real reasons why the war occurred come out, and they never completely jive with the message that's being fed to people through the corporate media at the time that the wars are started. Okay, I'm tired of, and what got me thinking about it again this morning was I saw a picture of Kim Jong-un, the North Korean, whatever, president or leader, and I thought, man, they haven't drug him out as our latest person to fear and to be at conflict with for a while. You know, lately it's been the Russians, and, you know, there's always somebody that we have to be at war with. And, you know, the real cost to that is in our American soldiers, right? We've got, like, young Americans risking their life, oftentimes because of a cause that maybe isn't so justified. I'm sorry to have to say that. Look, I'm an American. I was born here. I love America. But, you know, when you're putting young Americans at risk of either dying or being, you know, severely injured, you know, I think it only should be done if there's like really like drastic threat to the United States, right? Not because of some big money corporate agenda or anything like that. The other thing is there's people on the other side, right? There's, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of people have been killed over the last 20, 30 years because of United States military conflict and intervention. Those are people too, right? I mean, and I think like the average person in America in the world, in America and the world are pretty nice and don't really want to be at war with each other. I think oftentimes it's the people at the top that are creating the wars, creating the conflict, but it's the people at the middle and the bottom that are paying the price. Second thing I'm not happy about in America is healthcare. Healthcare is a joke. And unfortunately, most of my fellow Americans are brainwashed into thinking that we have a great healthcare system, although the facts don't really pan out when you look at them. We spend way more per person on healthcare in the United States than any other country in the world. It's the number one cause of bankruptcy in the United States, healthcare expenses. And our healthcare is not even rated as the best in the world. And by the way, all those other countries like Germany, England, Sweden, you name it, right? Ireland, Canada, any major industrialized advanced country, they all have universal health care, which means everyone is covered. When you go to the doctor, you don't pay any big out-of-pocket expenses, and everybody is paying way less per person than we do in the United States. But you have been fed a steady, consistent message over the years that universal health care is bad. It's bad. It's communism, socialism. Well, why does the rest of the world do it? Why does it work so well? And why do those people not have to worry about, should I go to the doctor? Shouldn't I go to the doctor? Can I afford to go to the doctor? Whatever. There's two types of people in the United States that are against universal health care. Number one, the brainwashed. Because anyone who looks at it on an objective level, it's a no-brainer. It's a better system. It works better. But I understand, people have been fed a steady supply of BS about universal health care for many, many years. The second person who's in favor of it, and these are the people with the power and the money, and they're the ones feeding you the lines of bullshit, excuse my language, are the people that are beholden to the system. The big health insurance companies, the big hospital chains, the big pharmaceutical companies, right? They have nothing to gain by universal health care. They make big money, big profits off of you and me, right? And so they like to encourage you to believe that our system is great when the reality is our system sucks. Now, two other things on that matter. Number one, and this is kind of a side note to the healthcare, but this is a fact. And I read this in a reputable article last week, and I've said this myself for a long, long time. There is a huge segment of the United States working population that works their job only to get health insurance. And people, I think I read like 23% of people said that they would pursue other business, start a business, if they didn't have to worry about providing health care to their family. So think about that. This country that prides itself so much on being capitalist and free market basically prohibits a big portion of their population from going out and starting a small business because they are basically enslaved to health care. Okay, and everything you read, and it's a fact that like small business is the engine of any economy. That doesn't make sense to me. That sounds, again, if we're so capitalist and free market, why are we knowingly basically enslaving a big part of the population just so they can get health care? I'll tell you why, because that's the way big business wants it. And they're going to send you convoluted messages and feed you a constant stream of information so that you're going to fight to keep this crappy healthcare system that you have. Congratulations. Finally, and I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, but I'm going to say this. Not the only, but I think the best chance that America has to be free again and to be fair again. This should be her campaign slogan. Free and fair. You can thank me later, Elizabeth Warren is Elizabeth Warren, okay? She's a woman, she's from humble means, and she's fair. Look it up. You think Joe Biden's fair? Look at what he did with his son. Look at, you think Trump's really going to look after you? No. Open your mind a little bit. Look into the healthcare system. Look into the reasons behind why we've gone to war all this time. And look into Elizabeth Warren, and you can thank me later. Just my opinion. I appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a great day.